In this video, I'm going to talk about how to get your spark back. If you're new to my channel in 2014, I was in the process of exiting this reality when Archangel Michael appeared. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. In 2019, after a rigorous healing journey, I found myself finally on 2 feet, only to go through a massive divorce, sell my dream home, to move in with my old man at the age of 40, every guy's dream. Not only that, I had to get used to not being around my son all the time, paying child support payments, and coming to the realization that a job I'd just spent the last 22 years working at was now incapable of supporting me. And for 2 years after my divorce, I fell into a depression where I didn't want to be here more than in 2014 when I actually attempted to leave, but Archangel Michael showed me that was no longer an option. And so I had to find a way to, manage this frustration. The number one thing I've learned when it comes to getting your spark back, it starts with self-awareness. It starts with you being real with yourself, evaluating your life, and asking yourself, what is it in your life that's making you feel the way you're feeling? And then it's being brave enough to take action to fix it. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes we come to the realization, when my mom passed away, I had this sudden realization that my job that I've been working at for over a decade was killing my soul. I realized that I'd been drowning out my reality with alcohol to drown out this childhood trauma that was unhealed. Had all these self-realizations, and it's not always easy because unless you're going to take action, towards what's making you feel like you don't have your spark, you're never going to heal, right? You can pop things to, mask the root cause, but you have to become self-aware. And so you have to identify what is it in your reality that's making you feel this way. Other things that really helped me, meditating, learning to meditate. At first, that was it was one of the most off-putting things I ever got myself into, but once I did, it was definitely life-changing. Learn to calm yourself down just by breathing and relaxing. 10 minutes of breathing a day is not that hard. Get out in nature. Get some sun on your skin. Make sure you're taking supplements and vitamins, getting the good salt, good water in your body. Eliminate fast food and sugars. Garbage that you put in, the stuff you put in your mouth is fuel. So what kind of fuel are you putting in your body? You want a healthy mind. You got to put healthy things in your body. Get outside, ground. Okay, get out in nature. Our auras are so built up with all this static electricity, Wi-Fi bullshit. We got to get out in nature and detox all that energy. Get out by a big body of water. If you're brave enough, polar bear plunges or just jumping into any body of water that's freezing cold just cleanses your body, cleanses your soul. Again, it has to do with self-awareness. Pay attention to the music you're listening to. How does it make you feel? Pay attention to what you're watching on TV, the movies. How does it make you feel? Pay attention to the people you're around. How does it make you feel? How does your job make you feel? How does your living arrangements make you feel? Become self-aware, evaluate everything, and ask yourself if you're willing to take the steps to get your spark back.